2.1, part 2. In the last section, we put numbers on a number line. Here we're going to order numbers from least to greatest. So again, this is probably easiest to do on a number line. That way, once we have them all on there, it'll already be in order for us. So remember, we start with 0 in the center. Let's start with marking our whole numbers, which should be easier than the decimals and fractions. So -3 would be here on the number line. And let's go ahead and mark that one off. And -4 would be here. Let's mark that off. Alright, let's look at our decimals now because they should be easier. So 4.5. So 4.5, I'm going to go 2, 4, and then a little bit more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little bit more. Okay, so it's past 4 because it's 4 and something, but it's not quite 5, so it's going to be in between 4 and 5. So I'm going to mark this 4.5. 1.8, same thing. Now let's mark our 4.5 here. 1.8. It's going to be past 1, but not quite to 2. It's going to be somewhere in here. Again, it's past 1 because it's 1 and something, but it's not quite to 2. Our last ones are going to be our fractions. So in order to do our fractions, we're going to start by changing them to decimals. So let's start with 3 halves here. 3 halves, if I change that to a decimal, I'm going to get 1.5. So again, 1.5 is a little more than 1, but not quite 2. And it is less than 1.8. And our last one here is -4/5. -4/5, if I change that to a decimal, is -0.8. So it's not quite to 1. So it's going to be here. And instead of using our decimals, we really should use our fraction bars here. Okay, so now that we have them, they're all in order. Okay, our first number is going to be -4, then -3, -4/5, 3 halves, 1.8, and 4.5. Okay, so once I have them on the number line, they're all in order. I just have to write them just like they are. Alright, let's do one more here. Make sure we know how to do this. Let's do 7. So again, I'm going to start by making a number line. Here's my 0. And I was going to mark my whole numbers first. So 4 would be here. And we mark that off. That didn't work very well. Then we have 0. 0 would be here. And we mark that off. Next, I'm going to go ahead and do my decimals. So for -1.3, it's going to be past -1, but not quite to -2. Okay. -4.2 is going to be past -4, but not quite to 5. Then I'm going to do my fractions. My fraction for 1/2 is 0.5 if I make that a decimal. So it's past 0, but not quite to 1. And 13/5, if I change that to a decimal, we're going to get 2.6. So this here is 2.6. So it's going to be past 2, but not quite to 3. So again, now that I have them on the number line, they're all in order. All I have to do is write them. Should label this. negative 4.2, negative 1.3, 0, 1/2,